We'll take you to the West Coast to see the giant redwoods of California. We'll take you to the vast areas of the wilderness in the Yukon and Alaska. We'll take you to the cattle country of Texas. We'll take you to the Native American lands of the Midwest. Best of America by horseback. We want you to ride with us and visit with us. I'm Tom C. Join me on Best of America by Horseback on Rural TV.
Pirelli Natural Horsemanship. Lifelong horseman and teacher Pat Pirelli combines common sense psychology and communication techniques, bridging the gap between horse and rider. Horse owners who follow the Pirelli program are discovering the greatest gift, an enhanced relationship and communication with their horse. Join husband and wife team Pat and Linda Pirelli for Pirelli Natural Horsemanship on Rural TV.
Welcome back to the Webley & Scott 2008 World Sporting Championships, where things are really going with a bang. Whilst the organisers of this championship weekend are the Clay Pigeon Shooting Association, like most sporting events, there is a need for financial support from sponsors. The title sponsors for the 2008 Sporting World Championships are Webley & Scott. And I've got with me Mike Herney, who's Executive Chairman for Webley & Scott. Mike, thank you very much for joining us.
Our pleasure.
As I mentioned, your title sponsors here this weekend. Webley & Scott, of course, over 200 years now in the gun-making business. Tell me a little bit about where the company's come from and where you are today after 200 years.
The business was founded in Birmingham in 1790, originally as bullet mould manufacturers, and the Webley and the Scott came together in the mid-19th century and to form a business that became famous for both sporting guns in terms of shotguns, but also handguns, which were used by the British military for many years. Then latterly they developed a range of air guns and became particularly famous for those, and the 700 series side-by-side box lock ejector shotgun in the 50s, 60s and 70s.
And of course, is it the 700 series? We still see some of the top shots today here, in fact, using those guns today, aren't they?
A lot of people still use 700s. If you look in any shooting magazine, you will find 700 series guns available for sale that have been providing good service for many, many years now.
It's very nice to have an English name, of course, with against guns, because over the years we've seen a lot of European names come into the sport, and very good guns they are too, of course. But it's a great tradition, isn't it? That business.
I was absolutely astounded when I became associated with the company, how well the name still resonates all around the world. We've recently entered the Russian market because Webley were very strong there before the 1917 revolution, and people were stopping us in the aisles at trade shows saying, "Oh, Webley's great, you're back in the market." And it's a fantastic feeling that brand is still so highly regarded.
And of course, this weekend we're principally here, it's all about shotguns here this weekend. You mentioned about Webley having the background in air guns. Of course, the sport of air guns, of course, is still massive, isn't it, as well?
Oh yes, it's a very significant market, and the UK is probably the most sophisticated air gun market in the world. So a lot of the innovations of the last 20 years, particularly in pre-charged pneumatic air rifles, have originated in the UK.
As well as supporting this event this weekend, you are also involved with the Cpsa, and you and I were having a chat earlier about making sure that the young get into the sport, and we've been talking about that all day, about some great young shots here from all around the world, in fact. But you're actually involved in the Cpsa Academy, aren't you? Tell me a little bit about that.
We're very strong supporters of the Academy, because we believe that one of the great things about clay pigeon shooting or clay target shooting is that there are few barriers in terms of age or gender or ability, physical impairment, and it's a great democratic sport, but it's very important that young people are encouraged to enter that sport and to shoot safely, and the Academy ensures there's a very high level of training, and you can see from the calibre of the shooters here today, and some very, very young shooters. They really do frighten me just how good they are.
They are very good indeed. And we've been watching a few of them, and it's astounding. In fact, I'm terribly jealous. The other thing about the sport, we've talked about the young, of course, it's also can be, it's a family sport. There are lots of husbands and wives that shoot. And the reason that I think that's great, a lot of retired people, of course, shoot as well. Of course, guns are pretty robust. I mean, you can go out shooting for a weekend, give it a quick clean, put it in the cupboard for a couple of months, can't you? And it's, it's there for whenever you want it, isn't it?
Oh yes, these days guns are extremely robust. They take a lot of handling, and people put hundreds of thousands of cartridges through a sporting shotgun in its lifetime, and they can handle that very well.
Some people may have the perception that, I'm going to go and buy a shotgun, it's going to cost me actually thousands of pounds. That's not, if you wanted to start shooting, that's not quite the case, is it? You can buy some really good quality shotguns, within a reasonable budget, can't you?
That's certainly the case, and companies such as ourselves have entry-level value for money brands, something that Webley's been associated with for many years. So for under £700 you could have a sporting shotgun that encompasses all the features that a young shot would like to see in a gun, but at a price that's very affordable. And as you know, you can go up and pay 10 times that amount and more for a competition gun. So it really is a sport that everybody can afford to enjoy, and the beauty of a gun like that for a young shot is that it comes with a good warranty, so there's confidence that after you've made the initial purchase, if anything does go wrong, then there is some recourse there for the buyer.
Has it been a good weekend for you?
It's been a first-class weekend, and there's some serious talent out there, and we look forward to 2012 and
absolutely
doing very well.
Well, Mike, thank you very much indeed. It's nice to see you. I wish you all the very best. We now move to stand number 22 on the blue course. 4 pairs. Standard clay from right to left and a midi from right to left also. Join it as squad number 70. Prepare to shoot. That there is George Digweed watching from behind. He'll be shooting in a few moments on this stand. First up in squad number 70, P. Hughes from West Sussex.
Hit and miss.
Hasn't had the greatest start to the blue course this morning. 3 courses on the championship. Red, white and blue. 9 stands on each. Total amount of clay pigeon shot over the 3 courses, 200, and that of course is the maximum score. And then any of those, the top 6 scores, go through to the shoot-off. P. Hughes, hit miss on the first 4, and again on the 3rd pair. Came into this stand with 25 maximum possible. After this stand on the blue course, 66. Ends with 4, so he leaves the blue course with 29. Now David Pointer. David Pointer from Norfolk, Class A shooter. Had a good start to the day. Comes into this last stand on 45. Out of a maximum of 58 he could have had. So he needs to get a maximum score on this stand to keep him in contention. Great start. Last pair. Very calm indeed. 2 more hits, 8 out of 8. David Pointer ends on 53 on the blue course out of a maximum 66. And the shooters who walk through these lovely woods here at Lake and Heath from stand to stand. Now Heather Pointer.
Killed.
Good start. First pair, Class C lady shooter.
Killed.
Oh, very good start indeed.
Killed and missed.
Both the targets on this trap coming from right to left. The first target, a midi, smaller of the two clay pigeons used here.
Killed and missed.
And the last
6
target,
scored.
the standard. 6 out of 8. Now D. Olsen
Pair killed.
comes into this stand on a score of 46. Class C shooter.
Pair killed.
Great start. Needs to keep concentration.
Pair lost.
And he just lost the concentration there, missing those two. So easy to be unnerved and just lose a bit of concentration. Very, very windy out there. A lot of banging going on around them. Ends on a score of 5. He will not be happy with that with D. Olsen. That puts him on 51 for his total on the blue course. One more competitor to come from West Sussex. Reg Smallwood came in here with 41.
Killed and lost.
D-class shooter. Hit, miss. Hit the midi, missed the standard clay. No problem with that pair.
Killed.
Reg Smallwood just dropping that second shot, but now got his eye in with one more pair to go on stand number 22. Well, great way to finish the blue course for Reg Smallwood as he ends with a total of 7 out of a possible 8. Let's have a look at the squad number 70 scores over the 3 courses. Coming out on top there, David Pointer with a score of 150. We've seen a few surprising misses today, but don't you miss out and join us right after the break. Welcome back to the Sporting Clay Pigeon Championships here at Lake and Heath. Of course, a day not just about shooters, but also a wonderful day out for the family. Very few events at this level are possible without the form of sponsorship from commercial companies. And I'm very pleased to be joined by one of those, with Mike Hoare, who's the Operations and Commercial Manager for Hull Cartridge Company. Mike, thank you very much indeed for joining us again today.
You're welcome, Phil. Nice to see you
Obviously,
again.
this is the creme de la creme here of your main business, isn't it? Here,
absolutely. This is
championships.
This World Championship is one of the premier events of the sporting calendar, so we're proud to be associated with the event.
Now, Hull Cartridge Company, of course, you know, household name amongst shooters that are shooting here. As a company, still family-owned, over 60 years into the
yes,
business.
still in the same continuous family management, and the family is still very much involved. And that brings with it a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge and experience that allows us to pass that through into the quality and consistency of our products.
To those that might not be so familiar with shooting, you know, one cartridge is looking at these here, for example, you know, they both look similar, but actually you sponsor the event here with these sort of top-of-the-range Sovereign cartridges. Tell us a bit about those, just briefly.
When competitors are entering major events like this, they're looking for quality and consistency and ballistical performances that were capable of matching the targets that are presented. And this is reflected in the components that we use. Unfortunately, it's also reflected in the cost. It's a little bit the difference between, say, a small family car and a luxury saloon.
And of course, here at the Lake and Heath this weekend, we've got the best shots in the world. So
Absolutely
they
right.
will be looking for the supreme end of the market. However, of course, the majority of shooters, it's more of a leisure industry, isn't it? And I know you mentioned cost. Of course, cost of everything's gone up these days. But actually, the Hull Cartridge Company has tried to address that in terms of the disposable cartridge, haven't they?
That's right. We looked at the actual component costs of cartridges, and one of the major factors has been the increase in the cost of lead on the world market. So an obvious way of reducing the cost is to reduce the amount of lead that we use. A competition cartridge such as the one that you're holding now contains 28 grams, or in old money, 1 ounce of shot. We've been able to produce a cartridge that has 3/4 of that quantity, that is 21 grams, and still gives very good performance, but it also brings with it a number of benefits to the shooter. Namely,
That's this one here, isn't it?
That's right. Because of the reduced weight of shot, it means that the amount of recoil that is generated is significantly reduced. And for people that are coming into the sport, that's very important.
Okay, so the recoil is reduced, but does that mean that the performance is compromised?
Not at all. Certainly not in our case. We've managed to develop a cartridge that gives reduced recoil, but a very, very good performance. Within the physics of a cartridge, we're able to accelerate 21 grams of lead up to a very, very high speed with minimal recoil, and because of the high speed, it gives high pellet energy and is capable of breaking targets at 62, 63 metres quite readily.
If you're good enough to hit them, that is.
Oh, they do have to be pointed in the right direction.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, thank you very much indeed in showing us the compact. It's absolutely tremendous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we move on to stand 27, part of the blue course. Here on day 3, squad 55 preparing to shoot. Interesting clay pigeons being used here. The first, a batu from right to left. That's the flat clay, 108 millimeters in diameter, similar to the standard clay, but flat, so flies a lot quicker. Then a rabbit on the ground. From left to right, Iris Hodges from Kent. C-class shooter first up. Aims at the batu.
That's a pair lost.
Not the start she wanted. Second pair. Unfortunately, another double miss there for Iris Hodges. Batu clay moving a lot quicker through the air, requiring a lot more lead. In other words, need to be shot further in front than the standard clay.
Kill and loss. And thank you. 1 scored.
3 pairs on this stand. Iris Hodges
Mr. Trevelyan,
hits 1 out of the 6.
followed by J.M. Peckham.
Now, Trevelyan, triple A shooter. What can he make of this very difficult stand? Stand 27.
Loss and kill.
Scores on the rabbit, misses the batu. Second of 3 pairs coming up. Triple A shooter, top of his class.
Kill.
Once again, misses that first bird, or clay pigeon. Can he get it this time? Right to left. Calls pull for the judge.
Loss and kill, and thank you.
Well, missed all
scores.
3 of the batus, hits the 3 rabbits, so he ends on 3 and a total score of 55 on the blue course. Trevelyan. Now Jamie Peckham from East Sussex, also a triple A shooter. Second pair, missed the first on the first pair.
Pair killed. Pair
That's
kill,
more like
and
it.
Thank you. 5 score.
5 out of
Well
6
shot.
for Jamie Peckham. Ends on 54. Michael McHenry, B-class shooter. Once again,
Loss and
the
kill.
Batu missed on the first pair for Michael McHenry. Similar on the second pair. Third and last pair on this stand number 27 for Michael McHenry. Right to left Batu.
Loss and kill.
And similar score on the last pair. So once again, just 3 scored. It's Michael McHenry, B-class shooter, finishing on 48 for the blue course. Now Brian Hodges from Kent. A-class
So loss and a
veteran. None of the shots in this squad have hit the Batu on the first pair.
kill. Loss and a kill.
In fact, to date, the Batu's only been hit by 3 shots and only once a time.
Loss and a kill, and
Correction to
thank
that,
you.
Jamie
3
Peckham hit it
score.
twice. And once again, totally missed the Batu, but hit the 3 rabbits. So score of 3 for Brian Hodges from Kent. And now confirmation of their 3 days here at Laken Heath. End of the 27 stands, 9 on the red, 9 on the white, 9 on the blue. A maximum total of 200 can be scored.